Hey everyone, Two Angry Frogs here, and Retribution Paladin, the most popular spec in World of Warcraft, is raining hammers, and we're here to guide you in the best hero talent selections, talent builds, rotations, and more. Although not a great spec currently in single target, its popularity rises from its AoE damage, which is in the top third of all specs, and it being fantastic for solo play. With strong defensiveness, great self-healing, and all the utility you need, it's a great spec for open world content. And it's a lot of fun to play as well. So let's jump in and guide you on all you need to know to play the spec at its best. When it comes to hero talents for Ret Paladin, there really is only one choice, and that is Templar. Herald of the Sun hero talents perform very poorly as compared to Templar, so that is what we cover in this guide. The Templar hero talents begin at the top with Light's Guidance. This replaces your Wake of Ashes ability with Hammer of Light for up to 20 seconds after casting Wake of Ashes. When cast, Hammer of Light deals holy damage to your main target and up to 4 nearby enemies. It also calls down Empyrean Hammers, hitting 3 nearby enemies with holy damage. And then you let the Empyrean Hammers fly. With Shake the Heavens, after casting Hammer of Light, you call down an Empyrean Hammer on a nearby enemy every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. Higher Calling extends Shake the Heavens by 1 second when you cast Crusader Strike, Hammer of Wrath, or Blade of Justice, calling down more hammers. For Zealous Vindication, when you cast Hammer of Light, 2 Empyrean Hammers are called down on your main target. With Hammerfall, your Templar's Verdict, Divine Storm, and Divine Hammer call down an Empyrean Hammer on a nearby enemy, and if Shake the Heavens is active, an additional hammer is called down. With Wrathful Descent, when an Empyrean Hammer critically strikes, 100% of its damage is dealt to nearby enemies. This also reduces damage from the enemy's hit by 5% for 8 seconds. Sanctification causes Judgment to increase Empyrean Hammer damage by 10% for 10 seconds, and this can overlap with multiple Judgment casts. And Endless Wrath gives Empyrean Hammers a 10% chance to reset Hammer of Wrath and make it castable on any target. At the bottom of the talent tree and bringing the cycle to a close is Light's Deliverance. For every Empyrean Hammer you call down, you gain a stack of Light's Deliverance. Then if Wake of Ashes and Hammer of Light are both on cooldown, you consume 60 stacks of Light's Deliverance to cast an additional Hammer of Light for free. Beyond the Empyrean Hammer barrage, you have a number of talents for utility, healing, and defensiveness, including Sacrosanct Crusade, which surrounds you with a holy barrier equal to 10% of your maximum health when you cast Wake of Ashes. With Sacrosanct Crusade, casting Hammer of Light also heals you for 5% of your maximum health, increased by 1% for every enemy hit. Undisputed Ruling, which applies Judgment to enemies hit by Hammer of Light and increases your haste by 12% for 6 seconds. We have a utility choice node with Unrelenting Charger, which makes your Divine Steed last 2 seconds longer and makes the first 3 seconds of Divine Steed movement 30% faster. The other choice here being Bonds of Fellowship, which buffs your Blessing of Sacrifice to increase the damage mitigated and movement speed. Finally, we have For Whom the Bell Tolls, which increases the damage of Judgment based on the number of enemies hit with Divine Toll. The first major talent choice when it comes to Retribution Paladin builds is between Crusading Strikes and Templar Strikes. Crusading Strikes makes Crusader Strike a passive ability that generates holy power with every other auto attack. With Templar Strikes, Crusader Strike becomes a 2-part combo ability in Templar Strike and Templar Slash. Templar Strikes does give you more predictable holy power generation and a smoother rotation, and while Crusading Strikes leads to more downtime in the rotation, currently it's the much stronger choice for damage, so that is the route we'll go. The second choice is between Vanguard's Momentum and Empyrean Legacy. Empyrean Legacy does bring a bit of cleave when activating Divine Storm, and can be a decent addition if Divine Hammer uptime is low. For pure single target damage, we want to go with Vanguard's Momentum, which gives us additional Hammer of Wrath charges when the enemy is in execute range. We'll take Boundless Judgment over Improved Judgment for the additional holy power generation and the chance to trigger our passive mastery ability, Mastery High Lord's Judgment, which has a chance to deal additional holy damage when casting Judgment. Finally, we'll opt for Holy Blade over Improved Blade of Justice to generate additional holy power with Blade of Justice cast. The additional holy power not only provides for more spell casts, but aims to reduce some of the downtime we run into with the Crusading Strikes build. You can find our single target talent build listed in the video description below. For the single target rotation, we want to focus on two very important areas. First is not wasting holy power. Wasted holy power is wasted damage, since a lot of our damage comes from casting spells that spend holy power. We want to prioritize abilities that spend holy power over those that generate it when we can, so we do not overcap. Second is making sure we have the expurgation and judgment debuffs on the enemy as much as possible for additional damage over time and the increased holy damage. For our opener, we want to generate initial holy power and get our cooldowns running, so the opener will be as follows. Cast Blade of Justice to apply expurgation and generate holy power. Cast Divine Toll to generate holy power. Cast Judgment to generate holy power. Cast Divine Hammer. Cast Execution Sentence. Cast Wake of Ashes. And cast Hammer of Light. Our rotation is all about generating and spending holy power in the most efficient manner possible. Retribution Paladin uses a priority-based rotation, so we cast the following based on priority and as the spells are available. So for the rotation, we'll cast Divine Hammer, cast Execution Sentence, cast Hammer of Light, cast Final Verdict if you have 5 holy power, cast Blade of Justice if expurgation is not active, cast Wake of Ashes, cast Divine Toll, cast Final Verdict with 3 to 4 holy power, cast Judgment, cast Blade of Justice, and finally cast Hammer of Wrath. For the Mythic Plus AoE talent build, as expected, we pick up talents that are multi-target focused to spread damage across multiple enemies. These include Tempest of the Lightbringer, in which Divine Storm additionally strikes all enemies 20 yards in front of you for 20% damage. Blessed Champion, in which Crusader and Judgment hit 4 additional targets at 25% reduced damage. Imperial Power, which gives our Crusader strike a chance to make the next Divine Storm free and deal an additional 15% damage. With Burning Crusade, Divine Storm, Divine Hammer, and Consecration deal increased damage. And finally, Searing Light, in which High Lord's Judgment and Radiant Damage abilities have a chance to call down Holy Fire damage to all nearby enemies and leave a Consecration on the ground. In their place, we drop Jurisdiction, Vanguard's Momentum, Rush of Light, Divine Arbiter, and Executioner's Will. Note that our hero talent selections remain the same for both the single target and Mythic AoE talent builds. You can find our Mythic Plus AoE talent build listed in the video description below. For Retribution Paladin, the Mythic Plus AoE rotation is essentially the same as single target, but switching over to Divine Storm as your primary holy power spender when there are 2 or more enemies. As with single target, Mythic Plus AoE uses a priority-based rotation, so we cast the following based on priority and as the spells are available. Cast Divine Hammer when you have 3 holy power and it's off cooldown. Spending holy power on other abilities will extend Divine Hammer duration. Cast Execution Sentence, cast Hammer of Light, cast Divine Storm if you have 5 holy power, cast Wake of Ashes, cast Divine Toll if you have 1 or less holy power, cast Divine Storm if you have an Imperium Power proc, making it a free cast Divine Storm with 3 to 4 holy power, cast Blade of Justice, cast Judgment, and cast Hammer of Wrath. You will find at times that you'll be casting Divine Storm back to back to back due to the holy power generation and Imperium Power procs. The stat priorities for Retribution Paladin are first and foremost about strength, which increases the damage of all of our abilities. So higher item level gear with higher strength values are always preferred. After strength, mastery is significantly stronger than all of our other secondary stats. Due to our mastery passive ability, Mastery High Lord's Judgment, mastery increases holy damage and gives judgment a chance to deal additional damage. For critical strike and haste, they are relatively equal, but critical strike can be stronger in AoE due to the Wrathful Descent hero talent, which spreads Empyrean hammer damage when a hammer critically strikes. The tier set bonuses for Season 2 for Retribution Paladin increase the damage of Holy Power spenders and provide more free casts of them. For the 2-piece tier set, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate a winning streak. This increases the damage of your Final Verdict and Divine Storm by 2%, stacking up to 10 times. Spending Holy Power on damaging abilities has a 12% chance to remove the winning streak. For the 4-piece tier set, when you lose your winning streak, you get the last Holy Power spent back, and you cannot lose Holy Power for the next 4 seconds. The damage of your Holy Power abilities is increased by 10%. As far as our rotations, when the 4-piece set procs, you want to use Holy Power spenders as long as the buff is active. Still look to hit your cooldowns if they're up, but you want to cast as many spenders as possible to take advantage of the no Holy Power cost. So, the Templar Retribution Paladin is a ton of fun to play, has excellent survivability, tons of defenses, good self-healing in a pinch with Word of Glory, and lots of AoE damage. It's a great spec for solo play and high-level delves, and brings nice buffs to both groups and solo play, and plenty of utility. And visually, it's a lot of fun to watch the Templar hero spec drop hammers and flash a whole lot of light. As always, let us know your thoughts and any questions you have down below in the comments, and make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you always know what's coming up next. And a special shout out to our members for your continued support. We thank you very, very much. And everyone, have a great day.